Memphis, and this is Alonzo. And since this video is going to be about power animal retrievals, I figured it'd be nice to have him as a special guest. Because he's awesome. Okay, so in my last video, I talked about how every retrieval is basically bringing your power back in some way, either a soul piece back or getting a power animal to help you to restore your power on your own. So I want to go more deeply into the power animal retrieval side of things, because that can, people are always so much more fascinated by that, and I know I am too, being the kind of person who's an animal person and loves animals. But what people don't always realize is it's not just a spirit guide who happens to be in animal form. It's a restoration of your own power. That animal has power it's bringing to you to help you fulfill and realize your own. So one of the first times I worked publicly for someone else, like I had a client who wasn't a friend or myself. This was a young kid with his mom, and he received a hawk, and he was so overjoyed. It made complete sense to him as I'm explaining to him why the hawk would come and what the message was from the hawk, and he was just like, yes, yes, yes. Like, it was just like his whole face lit up. He was so excited, and he felt acknowledged as a whole human being, because this gorgeous hawk had shown up for him, not for his mom, not for anyone else, just for him, just to help him. And his whole perception of his self-worth just shifted. It was just instant of, oh, I'm special too. I'm worth something too. And that was a really, really beautiful thing to see and to witness, to see that joy from him. And that is that's how these beings can make us feel when we open ourselves up to them. Okay, so just to start with the basics, go back a little bit. A power animal is a spirit being that's in animal form, and it is connected in some way to you and to your power. So an average person usually has about nine power animals in their lifetime. You're born with one or two. They come into the world with you, and they leave when you die. And then the remaining ones will come to you at certain points in your life where the gifts and abilities they have can help you grow into your power and work through that at a certain time. And then they leave when that learning is done and that part of your life has been taken care of. So in shamanic healing, power is real. It's not just this concept or a dynamic, or it's a real tangible thing. When power is within us, that is what we use to take our desires and manifest them, project them outward into our real lives. And then when power is with us in like a power animal form, that has to take a form. That has to take some external form in some way. So with animals, in the old days, humans knew that we were connected to animals and to the earth itself. And we honored them and we worked with them. So acknowledging that they had these gifts, these things to teach us, was part of our relationship with them. Now, we're much more disconnected from the earth and from the beings we share it with, and we don't see ourselves as being animals too. We see ourselves as being above that, but that's not true. We still are animals. And so when part of connecting with ourselves involves having to re-link ourselves to the natural world, And animals are an excellent way to do that because they still enchant, at least most of us. Even if there's some we don't like, there's, you know, everyone's always got one kind of animal they're really into. Also, animals, they don't second guess themselves, they don't overthink, they live in that moment, they just are, and they know what they are. And that's exactly what power feels like when it's healthy and when it's ours, when it's not something we take from someone else. So in a power and animal retrieval, the shaman will journey usually into the lower world, which is where it's more nature-based and lots of animals, and we go and we look for your power animal. Now, it's not just me or whoever the shaman is walking up to a bunch of animals and going, will you come back with this person? Will you come back? Although that's sometimes how it starts. But they have to choose. I don't choose for you. You don't choose. You don't tell me, I want a lion, and then I go and get a lion. Like, no. The lion might not be interested. If the lion is, great. If not, sorry, that's not your guy. One time a shaman brought a scarab beetle back for me, and I'm terrified of insects. I've gotten a lot better, and part of it is having a relationship with that scarab, but I was like, what? I have to be friends with a bug? That's what I said. I was like, I have to be friends with a bug? But he's a really good friend. You know, and you can learn a lot from scarabs. So it was what I needed. It was what I needed. So I'm not complaining now. But yeah, so you could be surprised at what is brought back for you. But the shaman will look and make them so like, hey, I'm here to get a power animal. And someone eventually will come forward and they'll say, I'll work for this person. And you ask, well, what are you bringing back for them? What is it that they need to learn from you? And then they'll share. So the type of animal that comes back for you actually tells you something about the kind of power that you need. And this is the really cool part, because sometimes you know what you need and sometimes you really don't. And that's where you get like caught off guard. Like, wow, really, like I got a scarab. I needed something a scarab had. Okay, but I definitely did. There's no arguing that. So for instance, if a hawk comes back, what you needed was an ability to see a bigger picture, to have a perspective that projects further out, like not just thinking 3 days ahead or 2 months ahead or even a year ahead, but like playing a long game, looking years ahead. If a bear comes back, you need strength, you need authority, you need an ability to rest and also to be fierce and vicious when you need to be. Bears are about setting your boundaries and holding them and not being afraid to tear somebody the F up if they don't respect that boundary. If a wolf comes back, what you're missing is a sense of a community. You might have lost your instincts. You might not feel like you can trust your own judgment. Sometimes you might be someone who's being prepared in a spiritual sense to assume a leadership role, and the wolf will come to help you to assume that role. Because, you know, wolves always have that leader of the pack, that alpha wolf. Well, sometimes maybe you get the alpha wolf as your power animal, be like, it's time for you to take charge. It's time for you to lead other people. You're not just going to be part of a community. You'll have to lead one. With a pigeon, if you got a pigeon back, you lost your sense of like your home base. You need help with finding a direction and a clear path forward, and you need to figure out how to kind of ground yourself and root yourself in one place where you need it. Pigeons are really good at navigation and getting back to wherever they consider home, and they're also family oriented. He lives inside because I only have one. They don't do well outdoors if there's only one of them. They need social life. They need their flock. If you only have one pigeon, you and the other people in your house become their flock. So Alonzo, me, my kids, and my other pets are Alonzo's flock, since there's no other pigeons for him to cohabitate with. So yeah, and I mean, like, those are just basics. It's not like every single person who gets a bareback has like a boundary issue they need to work on. It's just, those are very simple and general things. Take it more with like what the shaman that you're working with, what they're telling you that animal is there for, because they've spoken to them directly, work with them directly. And then after that, it becomes your job to connect with them and work with them. And power animals, other than the ones that are with you from birth till death, they leave on their own. They leave when they're not needed. They don't get scared off. They don't get taken. They can't be given away. It's a relationship between you and that spirit, and it will help you as much as you allow it to, as much as you work to connect and learn from that animal. Then that's as much as it will help you, and how long it goes is as long as you need it to. So that is something you don't necessarily have to worry too much about it going before you are ready for it to go. So if you're watching this and you're wondering, I wonder what my power animal is, or I wonder what it means if I'm really attached to this kind of animal, you know, you could work with someone to find that out. If you have experiences with power animals you want to share, feel free to comment, or just have questions. Just thought it was something good to go over and talk about, and I'll link the video below to my main power video, so that you guys can see a little bit more, because that ties in, the overarching themes of that one also tie into this one as well. But I hope this was helpful. I work long distance and in Philly if you're around, and you want to find out what your power animal is. And I'll see you next time.